Department says water tankers have been dispatched to some medical facilities in parts of the province that are affected by water supply interruptions. The Rahima Musa, Helen Joseph and Dr. Yusuf Dadu hospitals are among the affected facilities as water shortages continue in parts of the province. Department spokesperson Motalatale Mudiba says this is a temporary measure to mitigate the impact of water supply interruptions.
Of course, we know that even with these interventions, it's not sufficient to meet the water demand in the facilities. We want to apologize for the inconvenience that the public might experience when they go to the affected facilities, given that some services are impacted.
A newly formed political party, Build One South Africa, says it's targeting 1 million votes in the upcoming general election. Today, Bosa, under the leadership of Musi Maimane, submitted 140,000 signatures of registered voters to the Electoral Commission offices in Centurion. Tabiso Goba was there.
Bosa leader Musi Maimane says in a country where many people have fallen victim to scams, the fact that many voters have trusted the organization with their ID numbers and signatures shows their belief in the party.
You must know that if we are able to get these signatures just in the start now, wait until we arrive on election day. We will show you South Africans who are committed to vote for Bosa.
Maimane says Bosa wants to be a pivotal member of the new coalition government, as the polling data shows that no party will get a 50+1 majority. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News, Centurion.
A partly cloudy start for Gauteng tomorrow, otherwise fine. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 17 degrees, peaking at 30. Pretoria 18 and 30 as well. Vereniging 16 and 31. Lerato Komphela, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Our game was postponed today versus Galaxy. Then, the other thing that I wanted to understand, I know it was a sad situation whereby somebody passed on, but why is it that Sundowns, when Madisha passed away, Sundowns was denied postponement?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been asking that question.
Yes.
There is inconsistencies, yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
There's inconsistency because if you can check again when Senzo passed away, games were postponed, but in Sundowns, it's business as usual. Thanks so much.
The postponement of the match between TS Galaxy versus Mamelodi Sundowns has shown a lack of consistency in our league, or a selective leadership in our league, because when Madisha died, the league refused to postpone the match between the same TS Galaxy versus Mamelodi Sundowns.
Inconsistency, man. Inconsistency, and I think a lot of the football fans have been saying pretty much the same thing, something similar. When last did you hear of Sipho Nzuzo? Football Factory founder and president. When did you even conceptualize this?
I believe that I've delayed in accepting the calling, because I believe this is the calling. This is what God has actually given to me as an assignment.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Listen, it's really crazy that even before we've introduced the guest, just simply by knowing who's going to be in studio, people are already sending their WhatsApp voice notes.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Komphela here, and good evening to the MSW shoulders. Yeah, the BAL. Oh man. I think it's a blessing in disguise, as far as African basketball is concerned, where we have never seen so much involvement of African players on such a bigger scale back then. And with the introduction of the BAL, it has given so many potential talented players an opportunity to express themselves, and for many eyes around the world to see what Africa has in store as far as basketball is concerned. And I love what's happening, where instead of going to the basketball world, which is in Europe, in North America, where we know there's the biggest league being the NBA, all of that is now here in Africa, and it has grown from strength to strength. And I just love what's happening in the BAL. Whether you're going to talk about big teams being Zamalek or Petro di Luanda or Cape Town Spurs, just to name a few, man, you can see every single season the competition gets tougher and tougher and tougher. And I just love what's happening. And long may this continue. Great show as always. Thanks.
Hulafalang, thank you so much indeed. Yeah, the Cape Town Tigers is the reference there as far as BAL is concerned. But you can tell the man very, very passionate about the sport. Hopefully going to be seeing you over the weekend up in Pretoria. We'll tell you about the arena. We'll tell you about the venue. We'll tell you about everything that has to do with basketball and the fact that, yeah, it is finally happening in South Africa. So, yeah, great one. Hulafalang, thank you so much indeed. Do send us your WhatsApp voice notes if you're a big baller, big basketball fan, and you are equally excited. And you know what? The Soweto Derby of the weekend isn't the only major sporting dish this Saturday, simply because, equally exciting, something will be kicking off or tipping off in Pretoria. The Basketball Africa League, otherwise known as the BAL, the fourth season kicking off at the Sunbet Arena. And by the time it tips off, the league will have played, 102 games since its inception back in 2021. It would have visited 3 African cities, would have registered a continuing growth of fans inside the arenas. And my, oh my, are they growing. And one of those people who has certainly been at the forefront of planning this one is the recently appointed, that was end of December. Yeah, she'll correct me if I'm wrong. NBA Africa CEO. Yeah, she's female, she's fierce, and with tomorrow being International Women's Day, believe me when I say that, there's nothing, no thrills, no frills, and nothing thrills me more than seeing women excelling in these key sporting administrative positions. And they were previously said to be just the men's arena, the men's dens. Nah, forget about that, not anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute honor and a pleasure for me to have this phenomenal leader with us today, as well as BAL President, Amadou Gallo. I'll give him the honor to introduce her to us as we chat all things basketball related. Lady, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. It's great to be with you. Again, I am super excited and also honored to be here today with NBA Africa CEO Claire Akamanzi, someone we know very well, we've worked with. As you know, we launched the Basketball Africa League in 2021 in the middle of the global pandemic in Kigali, Rwanda. Claire was the CEO of the Rwanda Development Board. You've seen the deals, whether it's Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich. You see Visit Rwanda on their sleeves. You see Visit Rwanda on the BAL jerseys. So Claire is who we negotiated with. I'm very glad now that we have her on our side. So that I'm excited to see her go out there now and doing those deals and negotiating for us and for the NBA. So super excited to be working with Claire. Yes, as you said it, we are here about to tip off our fourth season of the Basketball Africa League in Pretoria.
Sure. I mean, great. It's exciting, and I think you've just laid it out very, very nicely indeed, because the visibility of that Visit Rwanda worldwide, and especially when it comes to something that we all love, which is football, we see it. Arsenal carry that, as you said, PSG carry that very, very fondly, and for you to be in center of that, it is no doubt that Amadou Gallo would have made sure that you come across and be part of this. And here you are, Claire Akamanzi. Such a great honor. Welcome to the show, obviously for the first time coming through to here. And I've got to publicly congratulate you for assuming position of CEO.
Thank you very much, Robert. Very excited to be joining you in the studio today with Amadou, but also very excited to be in South Africa. Yeah. I think Amadou has been with NBA from the beginning. I think from 2010 is when we started this relationship with South Africa for the continent. And we announced that we're going to have a Pan-African League here in South Africa. And now we're here with the Basketball Africa League. Very exciting to be in the country. Very exciting to see the beginning of season form. But very excited to have this conversation with you this evening, Robert.
Yeah, I was saying that on the eve of International Women's Day, which is happening tomorrow. I mean, we've got you here in studio. And just the strides that you've made, maybe just from a personal perspective, what does it mean to you personally to ascend to a position of this magnitude?
Well, I'm very excited to be a sports executive today as a woman because it signifies a number of things. One, that women too can become sports executives. I think we've seen women excel in many different sectors, and sports is probably one of those where there's still few women executives, but I think seeing the possibility that is symbolized by a woman being there, I think is a very important message for young girls to also feel like they can ascend to many of these positions, including the sports sector. So I'm very excited about that. The second thing also, it really shows that when we provide the environment for women to excel, they can actually ascend to these positions. I know that NBA has been very consistent about that. Even starting the WNBA is really recognizing that there's talent in women and that women should be given the ecosystem or the environment or a platform to play. And when they do, they will also be competitive. And this year, I think one of the highlights at the All-Star Weekend in Indiana was this three-pointer challenge between Steph Curry and Sabrina. And when she was interviewed, she said, if you can shoot, you can shoot. If a woman can shoot, she can also shoot. And so I think that kind of a platform that we build for women to really showcase what they can do is important. And I think being new in my position, that's a message that I think is really, really important for us as well. And I know that women want and need role models. We've all grown as women that look up to other women in different sectors. And so being able to provide a role model example to other girls, I think is really important. So as we celebrate International Women's Day, I think it's really emphasizing that let's continue to create those platforms for women. And when we do, they also will excel.
And like you say, the leadership, it's also about creating those role models, but you got to put in the hard work. I was just going through some of your achievements, and this is more on the leadership side, is that people should never stop, the education path to life, because they always tell you that education unlocks all the doors, et cetera, and you've literally done it all. I mean, holding your Masters of Law degree in International Trade and Investment, University of Pretoria, which you did here, Bachelor of Laws from, Komphela in Uganda, to add on to your Master's degree in Public Administration from Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government. You're a recipient of 3 prestigious awards for academic excellence and distinguished contribution to the community. I can go on to the fellowships. You were, the top 50 recognized by Forbes, Africa's top 50 powerful women in 2020. That speaks volumes again, Amadou, in terms of the caliber and the quality of individual that you brought now closer to the basketball family and what you would want to achieve, becoming the first CEO right now of NBA Africa. That says a lot. What do you add on to that in terms of just stressing that point?
Well, I think Claire said it nicely. There's been a long-standing commitment from the NBA to make sure that the game of basketball and the basketball industry is accessible to women. I think there's been a lot of initiatives that have been designed or started to make sure that women have an opportunity on the court to display and showcase that they can be world-class athletes. We have iconic superstars who've played in the WNBA, who are role model, as we talk about role model, and specifically also from an Africa perspective, we have those role models who have won championship in the WNBA, and we are always proud to bring them back. Although some of them are here, Clarisse Mashangwana, who's from Mozambique, she's here along with, we have our BAL for her initiative that we are starting with actually tomorrow morning. Yes, we're excited about tipping off the games on Saturday at Sunbet Arena, but we are going to organize a lot of initiatives around these games, and BAL for her is our flagship program at the BAL to engage and make the game and the industry of basketball accessible for girls. So that they're coming in to play, and at the same time with people like Claire, using them as example, as role model, and they're going to mentor. And we have some of our staff working across NBA Africa in the BAL who are mentoring young girls to show them that it is possible to have a career in the sports industry, in basketball industry, and we're very proactive to making sure that girls have access and can really excel.
Yeah, because I think when you go back, it might have been around 2018 when, Commissioner Adam Silver spoke about wanting to launch a Pan-African League, especially in South Africa. You would have been in the forefront of that. Again, Amadou, just that long-lasting dream to see it where it is right now, when we stand again on the threshold of history this coming weekend. Just take me through some of the pitfalls and some of the struggles that you've had to go through to get to a point where you can successfully say, tomorrow's a press conference, you're going to be launching it. Come the weekend, hey, we tip off.
Yep. So, I often, said that we didn't come in when we were opening the office in 2010 in South Africa and say, let's start with the professional league. We knew that there was an incredible opportunity to grow the sport in Africa and build a business around it. But we took the steps that we needed to take. We didn't skip any steps. We were very methodical, and everything has become an evolution. We started Basketball Without Borders in 2003 right here in South Africa, and ultimately decided to open an office because we thought that in order to really maximize on the opportunity and the potential that we saw, we had to have boots on the ground. So we opened an office, and then we set out to make sure we took the steps to, try to alleviate the challenges that exist with the lack of infrastructure, maybe the lack of expertise. We decided to focus on that. And then 10 years later, when the commissioner was here, we were playing the third of 3 games we played here, NBA Africa Games, to sold out arenas. We decided now that it was time, and the commissioner announced that we were going to launch a professional league right here to showcase African talent, and in the process, grow the entire basketball ecosystem and build a business around it.
Yeah, I mean, the business has grown, it's flourished, and we've been seeing the good work that has happened in Rwanda. And that's what I was going to ask again, Led, to say, you being there physically and seeing BA finals happening in this massive arena, great arena within the African continent, I'm not just going to narrow it down to it being in, Rwanda. What have been the lessons learned? And while you were, let's say, not part of basketball family then, but you were seeing what was going on, what was the attraction and what did you pick up from that?
Okay. Well, when Rwanda chose to invest in basketball and to partner with NBA, we saw it as a very interesting and viable economic development proposition. Because by building sports, you're able to create jobs for not only the people that are in the talent of playing basketball, so that's obvious. Being able to nurture, I think Amadou did talk about showcasing talent and growing talent, that's one. But also the jobs around the basketball ecosystem. You have people that are managing the whole competition. You have people that, the sectors like hospitality that are, hosting people, transportation. You have entertainment, you have restaurants, you have airlines. So many sectors are actually affected in a positive way by having a sports ecosystem grow. And we saw that. We saw that was a very big growth opportunity for us in tourism. And so we invested in that. But also what we learned is that to optimize the opportunity that is sports and basketball in particular, in this case, you had to think about it comprehensively, because the different parts needed to come together to make it work. One was infrastructure, and we worked very closely with the NBA team to advise us on what a sports or basketball arena should look like. We built a basketball arena of 10,000 people, but we also learned that it's not enough to just build infrastructure and do it. You need to think about managing the facilities. You need to think about marketing Rwanda as a place to have not just basketball, but other events, whether it's music, shows, technology events, etc., to make the arena more viable. And we had to think about that as well. We also do that. We have to think about when people come, what else can they do? How do we develop the hotels to make sure we have the right hotels, make sure we have the right transportation, make sure we have fast internet, because when people come, they want to be able to download or to post all the things they do. And so what we learned is that to make this the most of what it can be, it needs to be a comprehensive outlook and investment. And that's how we ended up investing in this. And I must say, obviously, this was my job up until December last year.
Yes.
We were very satisfied with what we saw. If you look at the investment that we put in and what we're getting just hosting BAL, and Amadou knows this from the beginning, because from the first day we saw what we're getting economically. But I think what we speak about less, but which is really important, is by hosting BAL, many other sports in other sectors were inspired to come and talk to us about hosting other things. We had the FIFA Congress in Rwanda. There's a tennis tournament happening right now. There's cycling happening soon. And so this is a true economic development opportunity, and that's what really attracted us. And I think the whole continent will benefit from.
NBA Africa CEO Claire Kamanzi with me in studio. Also Basketball Africa League President Amadou Gallo-Fall. We're going to take any questions or comments or calls, whichever one it is, after this.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.
Here's to the next 30 years of winning with Vodacom. Sign up or upgrade to any contract from 1st to 30th March and stand a chance to win one of 30 Samsung device bundles. Get 2 Samsung Galaxy A15s on a 1.2 gig Red Core plan for only 429 Rand per month over 36 months with a Red Flexi 75 plan on the second SIM. Here's to the next 30 years of connection. Available in-store and online on SA's most reliable network. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
There are so many delivery apps in SA. You've got in 60, as soon as possible, and takes a lot longer. The problem is when you want to buy bread from, fruit from, meat from, and a new pan from, that's when things get. Simplify shopping with one card. Multiple stores in 60 minutes. Download one card and get 100 Rand off your first order. Shop it all in one card. T's and C's apply.
Soccer fans, it's time to score the ultimate goal with Hollywood Bets. Goal! With a max payout of up to 30 million Rand and over 100 soccer markets to bet on. Bet online now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
We believe insurance should be as easy as pineapple. Underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And I'm listening here with me in studio, Dr. Sono, with a gentleman that you would know very well, Usipho Nzuzo.
Yes. Actually, I love the fact that today you are calling me Mkaya. Pumeko mani,
my father is a Shanghai.
Yes.
My mother, she's from Omani. I was born in Komphela.
The people of the Eastern Cape need you.
I peaches are cool, Baba.
Well, what are you trying to say? How to get peaches? Are you saying to peaches
Unga peaches, Baba.
Peaches in Antoni.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Yeah, it's a basketball conversation. It's one that you've been anticipating, waiting for. It is the Basketball Africa League descending upon us this weekend. Amadou Gallo-Fall, Basketball Africa League President, is with me in studio, and also the newly appointed NBA Africa CEO, Claire Kamanzi, also with us here in studio. So we take it step by step. Tomorrow, big day, happening press conference that's going to be staged in Pretoria. Give me the lay of the land. Give me the background. What can people look forward to?
Well, first of all, first time the Basketball Africa League is coming to South Africa. So this is a full circle moment for us. You know, as you said, this is where a lot have started in terms of the journey of the NBA in Africa. 93 and 94, then Commissioner David Stern was here. And then we launched Basketball Without Borders Africa Camp here in 2003, opening the office in 2010. All the programs that were launched, the first actually of what became our junior NBA programs with the partnership we launched with the Royal Bafokeng Nation in the Northwest Province in 2011. So there's been a lot of work and initiative that has happened right here in South Africa. So the Basketball Africa League being the culmination of all these many decades of work that the NBA in partnership with FIBA have spent on the continent to grow the sport, I think it's just, it makes sense to come back to South Africa after we've launched the league, and super excited to be at Sunbet Arena on Saturday to see the tip-off of 4 teams that are here. Obviously, the Cape Town Tigers, that will be the host team. We have FIS Rabat from Morocco. We have Dynamo Basketball Club from Burundi, and then Petro de Luanda, powerhouse. Everybody is familiar with them. Some exciting games we're expecting, and we are tomorrow at the press conference going to share this with members of the press, and also this is going to be broadcasted over 200 countries around the world. I'm talking about the game over the next 10 days. We'll play a record 12 games here in South Africa, but overall for the season we'll be playing 48 games. So 7 teams that have been in the league. The BL have been divided now into 3 conferences of 4 teams. We have 7 teams that have participated in the past. We have 5 new teams and 3 new countries. So the footprint continues to expand. But I'm excited to be back in South Africa and excited to welcome a sold-out crowd at Sunbet Arena on Saturday.
Sure. And when you talk about that, for me, Claire, as Amadou says that, 7 have participated before. There are going to be 5 debutants. And when you have debutants in anything, in any sport, all it means is there is growth. Mm-hmm. What does this growth mean? Having to host it, but literally have 5 that are coming through for the very first time.
And indeed, that means growth. It means expansion. And this is the most expansive season that we've had since we started. And for us, what that means is that more access to the game by more countries, more people, more fans. We expect to get even growth in funds coming from the fact that we are expanding. And when you have expansion, the many other opportunities that expand with it. We now have corporate sectors that can involve or get involved even more. We have entertainment. In fact, when we start this weekend, we also expect a good part of that to be entertainment. Yes. That is going to be intersecting with basketball. So get ready to have fun when you come for our games, and please do come for the games this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. And so that growth just means more fun, more excitement, more access to the game, and also more businesses, more corporate sector participating. And so we're looking forward to growth every year. Yeah. And we expect that in the next years, basketball is going to be a very, very popular game, even more growing. And we're going to have a lot of talent coming through our league. And we're going to have a lot of countries that are actually seeing their GDP, their economies grow because they invested in basketball.
And I love that, the fact that you incorporate the entertainment side of it. You both would know, you talked about the great weekend, the All-Star weekend that was recently held, is that basketball is an experience, but it's also an experience where every second, every minute counts from a commercial and a commercialization perspective, is that there's not one dead moment within a basketball game. We're likely to see the same right now, because obviously corporates come on board. They want to buy a certain time. You have a timeout, you go through. All of those moments and minutes have to be occupied with something.
No, absolutely. And from inception, we are setting out to build a lifestyle brand. Yeah. The game of basketball is at the core of it. We want to make sure that we're going to continue to have an incredibly attractive product. We have great talent, great athletes continuing to come and play for the different teams, great coaches. But also basketball, I think, is a sport where music and the entire creative industry has come together in perfect synergy. The in-arena experience that you could have in basketball is really, not comparable to basically any other sport. And there's no coincidence that a lot of the other stars of other sports generally love going to NBA arenas. So that's that experience that we are recreating here. When people come to Sunbet Arena on Saturday and Sunday, and for the other games until March 17. Not only are they going to see incredibly competitive basketball games on the court, but they're going to be entertained by some of the top local DJs, top amapiano artists and the top Afrobeat artists. This is what we do. We want to showcase, what Africa has best to offer from a sports and entertainment standpoint, because we were looking to build a product that the entire world, and particularly the African diaspora, is going to look to consume.
I mean, you were talking about sold-out arenas, and Sunbet Arena is one of those arenas, really world-class. You've seen so many different concerts being staged there. It will be, again, a landmark moment for basketball to take center stage at such an arena as well. What's the ticketing looking like? An ordinary person listening to the show right now and saying, my goodness, I didn't know that this was going to be happening, and they just want to be a part of it.
No, they should hurry up, because I can tell you we are, in fact, I think we're going to be announcing it pretty soon, and my team is going to kill me for saying this, but we are sold out actually for Saturday, and I know that crazy. This is going to go very fast. So I would encourage people to really look to get their tickets from Ticketmasters, the CO.za, because this is going to be historic. Sunbet Arena is an incredible place. There's no bad seat in the arena. I went there twice just to see, and because that was the site of our last Africa game in 2018. It's dressed up like incredibly nicely. So I would really, I'm looking forward to seeing the fans, and I'm looking forward as a basketball fan to sit there courtside and watching the great entertainment and the great games that will be taking place.
But are you able to share, let's say, cost? I see people here on social media saying, what's a typical ticket costing?
I think we have, prices for all purses, right? From 75 rands to, there are much, depending
like
on what part of
type of tickets.
Yeah, suites, courtside, especially that's what goes. And strangely enough, the most expensive tickets are those that because people want to sit on the court, and those are the ones that go the fastest. So, but we know we are equal opportunists. We want to make sure that really our product, our games are accessible. So, from 75 rands, there's a wide range of prices.
Yeah, courtside is where Spike Lee, Spike Lee usually likes to sit. So that's him and all the big superstars as far as the rap game is concerned. Cameras catch them. We've seen these days at NBA games, some of the football superstars coming through, the Real Madrids. Vinicius Jr. has been a big fan of, basketball. He has been coming through to a lot of the games. So I think in terms of affordability, again, Claire, we can't reemphasize more that, yes, it is an affordable sport. Just depends on where you want to sit in the arena. And if you're saying sold out already, I really think that's a win for basketball overall. I think the vision, though, as far as NBA and Africa is concerned, Claire, I think let me just tap into your brain as far as that is concerned, and the potential growth, the potential vision, the frequency of games that we might be able to see, especially we here in South Africa, who Amadou has been at the forefront, whether it's been Basketball Without Borders, back in the days to where we are now with the BAL. For you, where would you like to fine-tune this growth, but also aggressive growth, if I might even add?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, back on the topic of tickets, yes, we have games this weekend, but we also have games during the week. We have games Tuesday and Thursday. We also have the next weekend. So, yes, if you find one game is very popular, I think you can look at other games and book them and buy those tickets as well. We're very much looking forward to seeing so many listeners with us at the arena. In terms of growth, what we see in the next 5 years to even decade with the Basketball Africa League, but also NBA Africa in general, is just much more growth than what we see today. We see many more infrastructure examples going across the continent. Today we have arenas in a few countries where we can actually play very good games, whether it's Senegal, Rwanda, among others, but we know many countries are actually building arenas. We know countries in East Africa, we know countries in West Africa building arenas because they want to also invest in the game. So what we see is many countries of the 54, 55 countries we have on the continent, many countries will have quality infrastructure, and we want to see that growing. We want to see basketball courts brought closer to the people, and we see hundreds and even more being built over the next few years. We see it in schools, we see it in communities, and that's going to help the basketball game grow. we also want to see a lot more involvement from other sectors. And we see it growing. We've seen companies buying into the vision of basketball and what basketball can do and help them meet their own vision. We see that growing as well going forward. So we see basketball becoming an economic ecosystem that is really going to catalyze and drive growth on the continent in a very meaningful and significant way. And I think we've just scratched the surface today. We're going to do even more.
Yeah, and more is bigger, is better. More is about, again, the access. Let me just say, where can people who really and genuinely cannot come through to the Sunbet Arena, where would they be able to watch the game, the tournament itself?
Yeah, I think tomorrow we're going to make further announcements
Okay.
around all our broadcast partners. But again, similar to prior years, we're going to be in over 200 countries around the world.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, the NBA app, on the BAL website, these are our assets that I could announce now. But by tomorrow we will have, a much wider range, and we will, share with our fans.
I mean, it's such a critical week past where we've also seen just that 40,000 career points that was achieved, and a lot of us who love basketball look at that as a milestone. We look at it as a longevity of an individual. How many more records can a LeBron James break? Just breaking away from that, how significant is that for the sport?
Well, there was when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar set the record, back in the days, and it's one of those things that you think it's so unsurmountable, you cannot imagine, because Kareem played, 19 or 20 years also, and that was a incredible milestone at the time. But now it's almost like commonplace to see some of these athletes playing still like they were in their prime after, when they passed 35. So, certainly, it's a great achievement. I mean, obviously sitting, on top of the mountain when it comes to being the, best scorer of all time and one of the greatest players to ever play in LeBron James. I think, the league continued to demonstrate that it's in its the healthiest it been, in terms of popularity. And when you see the influx of young talent that is coming in, you can only, just smile and be comforted to know that this is going to be greatness around the NBA and the game of basketball for many, many decades again. And we are especially proud to see a lot of players coming from the African continent and who are increasing in numbers, but at the same time in stature. Joel Embiid was last year's MVP of the league, Pascal Siakam, and there's been like 140 players from the African continent who were either born in Africa or has one parent who was born in Africa. Today, this past season in opening day, roster, we had 15 players from Africa in the NBA. So, and this number is going to continue to rise. One thing we are proud of, the output from the NBA Academy. We have our Elevate program where we have the top players in the NBA Academy assigned to BAL teams. There are a couple of young players who are top world-class prospects. We're going to see their names, hear their name in the NBA draft in very short period of time.
I always think if African players can excel, like Amadou is saying, outside, now imagine how much more talent that we can nurture just because we have the league here on the continent. A lot more people that can actually excel here, and that's what we want to see. We want to see these names on the continent really grow and get known and go globally and compete, and that I think the numbers will increase because we have BAL here.
Yeah, and I think also just the inclusion now of your Libyas, your Central African Republic that are coming through for the very, very, very first time. Burundi as well. It's a major turning point, for basketball. Yep. And I think we need to celebrate that. There will be first-timers that are coming through, like we've mentioned, the debutants. All I can say, barring anything we've left out, that guys, magic on the court. Let's see it happen. Let's see it from tomorrow with the launch, with the world being told all the information. And of course, this weekend, we'll keep just inviting people to come through, reminding them on a daily basis here on the show what's happening, which teams are playing, what to look out for, and where to get the tickets. Because I just think, you know what, guys, we overlook so much talent. in the country.
No, thank you. And as Claire noted, it's not just this weekend. We're playing Saturday, Sunday, but we're going to play on Tuesday, we're going to play on Thursday, and then we're going to play again on the following Saturday and Sunday. A total of 12 games. And they're all going to be super exciting and competitive. And plus the entertainment in the arena.
Yes. We'll give you all the details, guys. Hey, Claire, good to see you. Good luck in the journey.
Yeah,
we'll be seeing more of you, trust me.
Thank you. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Of course, we'll be there. Amadou Galofol, thank you very much indeed. Basketball Africa League, the president with us in studio. NBA Africa CEO, Claire Akamanzi. Thank you so much indeed for being with us here. Wow, great show. Enjoying the conversation wherever you are around the country, the continent, and the world.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Everyone knows that South Africans love December. That's why Burger King created the December Special, where you could get 2 Whopper meals with chips and a bottomless drink for only $130. What they don't know is that you can still get that same Burger King special today, because after the 31st of December, Burger King decided to December on to the 32nd of December, then the 33rd of December.
Our 130 Rand Whopper special is still Decembering at Burger King.
2nd December. Then the
Getting a new car is easier when you're naked. See, when you're naked, you do car insurance online, so you can cover your new ride in seconds and download your proof of insurance on the spot, directly off the Naked app, without ever having to phone a call center. So visit naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in seconds, and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
We bring you great hits and exciting entertainment.
And our presenters enjoy doing it.
But we also have to follow the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct.
In order to give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news.
If for some reason you feel that we're not following this code,
we want to know about it.
So please contact us on comments@947.co.za.
If you're still not satisfied, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission.
Email bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Do you know what it feels like to be without someone you love? The moment I locked eyes with my baby, everything changed. Nhlamulo and I might not see eye to eye, but I hope he will give me what's mine. So, here I am, a mother on a mission, fueled by love and driven by pain.
Scandal. Unstoppable, 20 years on. Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m., only on ETV.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And she's joined Mamelodi Sundowns officially, joining the vibrant, passionate Masandawana family. That's a beautiful Mamelo Maka, who's here. Seen a video like we saw yesterday that Sundowns put out just in honor of a football fan who has crossed the floor and joined the club.
I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns, it replaced Bloemfontein Celtics to my heart.
Yeah.
You know, past 4 years without a team happened one day. And Tate Mtsipe was like to me, Mamelo, how does I want to stadium? Sundowns. Sundowns is a team of people.
#MSW. #MSW.
Yeah, let's catch all of you at the Sunbet Arena this weekend. I think it's exciting times for basketball, man. The growth of the sport has been incredible. So if he says it's sold out, it is sold out. Yeah, still a lot of people unhappy, man, about the rules. Right? What rules am I talking about? The Premier Soccer League.
Marawa, I think the PSL must be clear about the rules. What must happen when a player dies or when teams get into, accidents? Because as a Sundowns fan, I'm sensing a lot of inconsistencies. And I don't like inconsistencies and ambiguities. They must be clear. Thanks. It's Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, thank you so much indeed, yeah. And I think fans are right. Fans are right to question that, because you can't in one moment where a player passes away. Hey, player that belongs to one of the teams passes away, and then there is no clear guideline that says, yes, we will give you time off. We will make sure that this fixture is rescheduled to a time where the players just mentally and otherwise are ready and they're prepared. And then come an incident where, yes, there was a life that was lost. And again, condolences to the person who was driving, the Polo in that accident with his Galaxy's bus the other day. No one directly within the club itself. And then that game, and I'm sure Sundowns would have traveled already to the venue, then gets called off. So I think that is where Malcolm X is talking about ambiguity, lack of clarity, and just sometimes lack of empathy. There should be rules, and those rules should be adhered to. There should be circumstances, I guess, extenuating circumstances that calls for drastic action to be taken at a particular point, but make it clear. Make the fans clear. Well, it's not just the teams that travel, it's also fans that travel as well. Hey, Steve Komphela, what's happening? Has he found a home?
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Ukhuluma noSibongelene wamkhwani kaMgaya Matafeni. Let's welcome ubaba Steve Komphela kweli kaBhanana eThekwini. I think he will add a much needed value at Golden Arrows. We have seen that the team has not done well in the past 11 or 12 games, and they started the season on a very high note. Everyone was expecting Golden Arrows maybe to finish on the top 3 or top 4, but getting someone experienced like Ubaba Steve Komphela, I think it will help them a lot. Maybe they can still make it with top 8. I still believe, Mr. Marawa. I wish Ubaba Steve all the best for the rest of the season together with Umapoti Kenyeza.
Yeah. Sibongeleni, thank you so much indeed. The rigmarole and the ever-evolving door of SA football, sort of pinpointing or pointing at a Komphela at a Lamontville Golden Arrows, and you would know that it wouldn't be the first time that it's been there. But is it panic buttons? Because when you look at the team and where it's at, 12th position on the table. But for me, it's just been about the lack of results. Positive results, things that haven't gone their way. It's been a string of losses. Lost against Chiefs, we saw that. Losing before then to Sekhukhune, lost to TS Galaxy in the cup game. Those results continued against TS Galaxy. It was a 3-1 thrashing. So yeah, it's been back to back to back to back. Lose. Maybe a slightly different result would have been against Swallows. Still talking about the domestic game. Let me just give you a quick update. I mean, here's a team that really has been pulling all strings, making sure that they don't get relegated. And I'm talking about Cape Town Spurs, who moved to within 2 points of second bottom Richards Bay with a battling draw. And via a stunning strike, though, from the Tanzanian left-back, Gabriel Kamagi. They are still, 10 points from Swallows and absolute safety in 14th place. But for a side that looked dead and buried at the end of last year, they are giving themselves a bit of a fighting chance right now. Maybe a bit of a playoff place at least. That'll be a bit of consolation for them, won't it?
I think so far with our structure set up with the right dynamic. We have seen, I believe, a good performance. To sum it up, each and everybody contributed. If it is Neil Boshoff or Bradley Ralani in the end of the day, or Boitomelo or everybody. I think we have seen excellent wingbacks today on both flanks, left and right. Of course, here and there we change tactically, not the setup, but with bringing in some players in a different position. For example, in the end, Chomani and Azanele, born as wingers, as it is in football, in particular on this continent. They played in double six to get more dynamic out of the center in the forward movement, and I think they solved it quite clear. We are definitely on our journey, as we said, chasing something impossible. We are on the way. It will take time. We work hard. We have seen some players today first time. Maduna played his first minute. Farmer trained with us 3 days at his first minute. Chepo Komede came last week in, also 4 or 5 days with us only. Some other players definitely have more potential, but as I like to say, and I will repeat myself again and again, we must stay humble. We must, not pushing ourselves into a comfort zone. If you do so,
yeah, Coach Ernst Middendorp saying that they shouldn't push themselves into a comfort zone. Spurs, a mix of youngsters with a couple of seasoned veterans. Their coach Middendorp believing that they are starting to gel.
Do you know how many youngsters on the side of Orlando Pirates have you seen today? They were definitely not playing all, but how many youngsters they got the first step into the PSL in Maritzburg United or with other clubs from my side, from Celtic and so on? You count it, we can't things. How many players are in other clubs, even bigger clubs, got into the PSL because I was definitely able to see the potential, to trust the players and bring them in. We work hard, everybody's contributing, we have a very clear concept, and that's what it is. It's not a one-man show. I need a good technical team, we need a good development side. What is there? There's nothing to do. I'm only brave to bring Chomani, bring Liam, bring Azanele, bring the other players who can continue. Sivive, who plays in the ABC League till January. That's what I'm doing. I'm a little bit cross in my mind in a certain direction, and everybody is looking. And but I just do it. I don't ask anybody, and I don't. We discuss it inside the technical team. We watch the training session. We work with it, and but sometimes you just throw him in, just see the potential, and they can do it simple, easy. I have done it in 30 years. In August, I'm 30 years on a professional level. That is what happened, and a number of players. When I will retire, I don't know when it will be, in 10 or 20 years. I will sit down and go through, starting in 1994 in the Bundesliga, how many national team players, how many young players, how many players here in South Africa, in Asia and other continents have got the first step into the professional.
All right, well, Middendorp was talking big and obviously positive and rallying his troops to greater success. It looked like coach of Orlando Pirates, Jose Ribeiro, on his side was saying that that's the worst game he's ever had to sit through as a Pirates coach.
The opposition that we knew we're going to face in terms of organizations and the spaces that we are going to have. I think we did it quite all right in the beginning, finding the position of Mofoken quite frequent and easy because of the behavior of their right wingback. We managed to find really in good positions and creating dangerous situations. Due to that, we got the lead, but then I don't know, we just slowed down too much. Only Rele was insisting in the movements behind the line. They were defending in a medium block, quite passive, but still there were spaces to thread behind. But we didn't find the same continuity in the right side with Karim and with Monjane. We tried to change that situation in the second half because in the first half Monjane was all the time the player free as well in the right. We introduced Kalu there, Kapinga, to have one more player in intermediate and try to find Tabiso higher, but we didn't have I cannot say why, but because I don't know, not because I don't want. We didn't have the proper pace today. We were extremely slow. inviting the problems. It was clear that what happened with the opponent goal could easily happen, because actually they have that space free for a long period in the second half, and it happens 1-1. Then suddenly we recover the interest in the game. We start to attack again. We generate more in the last 8, 10, 12 minutes of the match.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And through his new project called Footballers Factory, FF, almost sounds like he's going to the elections, eh? FF, hey, Footballers Factory. I mean, his focus will now be on the holistic development of a footballer. When last did you hear of Sipho Nzuzo?
Ngiyazi ukuthi u-addicted ku-ensimbini ukukuka insimbi. Please ungalingi ukukisa abantwana bethu insimbi, ngiyakucela. Yeah, but Msakazi, what a great initiative. Well done.
Yeah, but he's saying cut down the weights. Hey, you lift.
You know, I guess that, Robert, is also helping me to remain healthy.
No, I can see that. You're looking in great shape, son.
#MSW.
#MSW. Yeah, more reaction coming through from the basketball conversation that we had just a short while ago.
Rob, I just caught that interview right at the death. But yes, the excitement within the entire basketball community for us to welcome some of the African legends coming through for the BAL qualifiers, the Kalahari edition. So we are absolutely looking forward to this tournament and just excited for the fact that with the growth of the BAL, more important legs of the tournament are actually being hosted in South Africa. So shout outs to everybody. Shout outs to Gallo for all the work he continues to put in through the continent. Shout outs to all the organizers, and just good luck to all the boys. My boys, the Cape Town Tigers, gonna be doing their thing over there, man. Looking forward to bearing witness to a moment in basketball history where South Africa is hosting this big occasion. Looking forward to it. Yes, Madluputu. Your boy Juice from Togoza.
Yeah, Juice and Togoza, thank you so much, man. I love that enthusiasm. Looking forward to the basketball in Pretoria, Sunbet Arena, if he caught that a little bit late. You know what, people talk about Steve Komphela, Lamontville Golden Arrows earlier this morning. Hey, was it about lunchtime? It was Lamontville Golden Arrows officially welcoming back Steve Komphela, who is no stranger to the club, according to them, says the values as well as the culture of the club. We look forward to his knowledge and guidance as we seek to finish the season strong. Welcome back, Steve.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Chris Kope here in Guatemala. Wonderful show. Thank you so much. I guess a move for Steve to move down to Durban for Golden Arrows. I think this will come in handy for the side as they've been struggling, having suffered 11 losses in the PSL League matches. And we know what Steve is capable of. When he left Swallows, Swallows was at a position that Swallows never dreamt of. And obviously with his charismatic style and his talent, I think he might turn things around at Arrows. Thank you so much for the wonderful show.
Yeah, turnaround at Lamontville Golden Arrows is needed. They started the season so well, very consistent and playing very, very good football. All right, more comments though. The appointment of Steve Komphela back at Lamontville Golden Arrows.
Hi Rob. It's Kanye Ntembisa. I think Steve will make Arrows tick again. Remember, Bafana Western, they are known for their good display of football. And Steve showed while he was in Swallows that he can play that type of football. Welcome, Steve. Sharp Rob.
Yeah, welcome, Steve. Is the rallying call. Catch you again tomorrow. It's a Friday, which means Legends Night. Looking forward to it.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.